Welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed the break. We certainly did. I didn't actually walk away from the computer. I was just lounging and trying to get my head around what we just witnessed a very short time ago. My name's Conky. Alongside me is Komodo. We are here for the lower bracket final between DGG and Encore. One of the most one-sided affairs in the opening map, 16-1, favoring Encore on Vertigo. And then we had a very long affair, 31-29 on Inferno on the DGG map selection. Now we're into Nuke. Now we're straight into the ramp. And Savage is going to be leading the charge, taking the first frag. It will be Grat onto Gump. And already things are starting to happen. A very excitable DGGapocdud gets one, and it's a 4-on-4 on the retake, Komodo.
Straight on toward the B site, looking for the plant in the open potentially, but will there be any CTs to swing on through? No, because Encore, they've cordoned off all the areas, they've covered all of their bases, which is exactly what you want to see. The retake starts to happen as Gratisfaction finds Zeph, double doors open up, everybody's blinded, Azza gets 2 for the price of 1, and he'll even get the close.
Awesome round there from Azza. They line up very nicely. Encore pull away with the opening map. Nice round on this first here. Nuke is a very, very interesting one. Heavily CT-sided. One of the few maps that actually do remain to be heavily CT-sided. Maybe this Ancient alongside it, another potential, but, you know, given the meta shifts and the way that teams approach the game,
well, the change
certainly gone to be long days, yeah.
I do like the change of Ancient for the team.
I do. It makes it much more competitive for the teams, for sure, yeah.
By the way, duality of man, if this scoreline also ends up like the first map scoreline. But...
oh, look, I think a lot of pressure onto Encore here, right?
Yeah,
you know, the investment, how big. Azza flying from the other side of the world to rejoin this roster Sunday last week. Grat, you know, back in action. This is their first competitive run for just under a year. It was October last year that they played their final games with Extremum, where unfortunately they did miss out on last year's major. And some damage has been dealt up. Oh my god, a rogue little bullet there on the second. Gratisfaction goes down. Zeph is going to be overwhelmed in a second. This is bold to go up into heaven, but he has found the timing. Couple of members waiting just below in hell. Savage still outside on T roof as well. Sterling just waits outside the lockers. Will now creep in as Zeph walks down. He is dead, and he is done. Savage also finding your Wombat, so the advantage goes back the way of Encore. But 45 seconds, still a lot of time to determine on how they want to play out the rest of this round as they walk on the top side.
Yep. Pretty convincing so far for Encore after losing Gratisfaction in this round. A nice little topside take as Savage is now just waltzing around finding kills. Doesn't really feel like a lot of these kills have just been standing still ones. Everybody's been running around right now from Encore, which is perfectly fine, but it poses a problem for DGG as they did force into this round as well. So they're going to see what they can retain into the next, what they can do. Gump has a dig, and that's it. No Kevlar behind it either, so he was the drop E to the teammates. And Encore, a 2-0 start on the T side of Nuke. You'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, for sure. Very clean start, you know, to keep 4 alive, especially with 3 AKs, a big statement. And I just want to give, like, a little shout out to Savage, how well he has been playing. You know, definitely one of those developing stars. I was thinking about a little while ago, you know, through the hub systems that we do have locally here, there was a couple of names I always sort of think of that came out of nowhere, you know, relatively unknown. Savage was one of them, ASAP another, PZ also, and all the 3 of which have found themselves into top 5 teams in our region. So nurturing the stars, so important.
Yeah. Absolutely. We will see what can happen in this round, of course, for DGG. Usually just a bit of a free gimme, but use it as a bit of a timeout. Hazard now knows there's another member here. And again that we've seen time and time again. Another single member losing their life from Encore, which is good. Throw away the first 3 rounds, folks. Now we've got the guns to appear on the side of DGG, expecting an AWP to come out for Zeph. He's got the money to even put the Kevlar behind it, which is great. So I'm expecting big things now to come out from DGG. It would be a little bit disappointing if we do see it fall away after such a tsunami, landslide, typhoon, whatever you want to use for Inferno. An Inferno on Inferno. There we go. Let's go with that one.
A blaze. My guy, that was the end of the Demon Slayer movie. basically is what we witnessed. Actually, that's the perfect thing. Like, overtime, no spoilers, but you think the guy dies like 3 times and then he still keeps on kicking. That was DGG. Oh, actually, no, that was Encore.
Probably Encore, yeah.
Yeah. Anime references on a national broadcast. You love to see it. Okay. Important round here. Zeph back on the big green. And of course, over the other side, just continuing the charge of what they've got. Look at the cash already in the bank from Encore. That is part and parcel of only dying twice. 2 members going down in the opening 3 rounds of the map. Hugh getting away with murder there. Not able to cop any damage just yet until now, where Hazza has been heard. They are looking for a top site hit so far, but they've certainly pumped the brakes on this one so far. They're still looking to fight the good fight, though. Now there's Wombat 1. Held off, though. Sterling still able to keep on kicking for now. It's you making it look easy right now. Gratisfaction does at least make it work for a short time, but overall, it's going to be a relative lockout there from DGG. Encore tries something quick, and DGG react well. Very nicely done, and the opening gun round goes the way of the Blue Boys.
Yeah, I think a lot of the tell in that round was actually Hazza getting ticked up by the Molotov in the hut as well. It put more onus on your Wombat, gave him an idea of what he had to do as well, giving that to the team to pull in a little bit more toward the A side, expecting a bit of a bust on through, and then they deal with that accordingly. Gratisfaction, really the only one to get something happening when he does eventually bust out. By that time, his team was dead. And he followed in quick pursuit as well. So DGG with purchase on the board. And we are into a match pause because, you know, we love extending things here.
Looks like it might be Savage.
Yeah, potentially.
Yet to buy. Oh, no. He's got his Kevlar. Never mind. So just waiting. Could be a brief communication.
No one's moving. Oh, no. I lie. Now they are.
They're back.
Okay.
Everyone's having a quick converse. Nah, it should be all good. We'll find out shortly. Looks like everyone is in the server and available. Everyone's given that little group hustle. So as we do wait for the time to tick over, again, I remind you how important this is and how some of the results have already played out around the globe. Reminder that the winning teams of each of the regions, which is, of course, Oceania, the ones you're watching right now here at twitch.tv/ESL. / rather.
There we go.
Then Asia, Middle East, and China. 3 other regions that will be contesting up against the winner of the Oceanic Qualifier at PAX Australia 2022. It'll be a 3-day brawl to see who will go over to the major. Very excited to see it played out on land, on home soil.
Oh, Zeph is dead to rights. Yeah, surely he's been seen.
He's kicked on for now. He might actually be able to find one. Nicely done. And a retreat to boot too. Hugh also on the line, but Savage shoulders him to absolute perfection, straight on out.
Yeah, but now DGapocdud not known in the garage right now, and rather not the garage, the top of secret, and he will be finding a pick, and he's going to be able to escape as well. The flames to be extinguished by the smoke, although maybe he doesn't escape actually. He's kind of biffed that one. Now requires Zeph to be able to bail him out against Azza, not expecting Zeph in no man's land. So DGG starting to really hold on, fine tune on this round. 5 still alive. Savage and Hazza. Positions heard by spray of AK. How do they get back into this?
Yeah, weakened a little bit here. Encore not really able to find their footing at all. Great flash out, but DGapocdud. Mario Simulator. We've just witnessed it. DGapocdud managing to make short work. So that's 5 alive. And a perfect round for DGG to kind of lean off the back of. Look at the cash.
Yep. Cash is still there for Encore to go in with a force. That's what they are choosing to do right now. And if the round does go their way with loss bonus, DGG will be able to answer back in kind. So this is the time where you definitely want to be starting to string together a couple of rounds, reset your opponents, make a clean nuke, because I want to remind you folks, this is not the ending series of the day. We still have one more match after this one where the winner will be playing against Not Greyhound.
And that one should be an absolute heater.
I think. Oh, he found it.
Not Greyhound have already chatted. Wait, what's he lost?
He's lost utility.
Oh, no,
there we go.
He's got another one. It's fine. It's fine. Sending his outside set. Yeah, he's definitely lost a smoke there, but that's okay. They are going to be able to take that outside control. Very, very stock standard here in a map like this. We did actually get to see Encore get relatively decimated by Not Greyhound yesterday. first series of the day before Not Greyhound were able to take down DGG relatively cleanly outside of a bit of a sweater on Inferno. Definitely nothing on what we've just witnessed before, though, but an opening from Zeph. Catch outside from Gump. They're looking pretty good here so far. Sure, it's just a bit of a motley force fight up. And Zeph does manage to pick up another as well. 2 looking great for him as Azza is the last man standing, tagged very low. And again, it's 4 alive for DGG. They are having a fantastic recovery here in this half and certainly making it competitive. Like, I don't think there would have been a single person out there who is at least sane that would have put DGG into the grand final against Not Greyhound. And that's purely off the basis of the current merit of the roster of Encore. Even with a new roster being set up, you think about the individual prowess. Eastside Nuke is next to impossible to call efficiently with a new roster, right? But still, just on individual ability alone. But DGG are absolutely showing up and making it proof that this one should go the distance.
Yeah, I think in terms of map complexity, Encore might have wanted to win it in the first 2 because they might have had a little bit more worries coming in towards Nuke, right? With what you mentioned there exactly in the result from Not Greyhound yesterday, where it was a very clean, convincing win over towards that mentioned team. So right now, it's just going to be that eco. Encore run in with what they can do, what they can find. They'll have guns in the next round.
So many times you see the CT-sided player fight for the fight, too hard just there. Oh. And in the end, Zeph actually calls it and falls away. Zeph's dropped 1, and whilst we do see Savage drop down Zeph, DGapocdud has been able to respond nicely. I think he just missed the timing on the Sterling, who is always sharp on that dig. He has no Kevlar, though, so that is going to make it a little bit awkward. 50 seconds left. Bomb down, not too far behind him at the elbow. But the remaining 3 DGG members, they can just be Bing chilling, waiting, relaxing. And letting the final member of Sterling just tick down the clock a little bit more. 30 seconds left, and he's got so far to go with not many options ahead of him.
Oh, why you say that when I have food on my mind, Mr. Conky? You are such a tease. Meanwhile, Wombat, he's going to be taking down Sterling to tease us in toward the next round, where we finally do have another purchase to come through for Encore. Looking at the economy, an AWP could have been brought out, but a Nuke, or map like Nuke rather, does fashion in utility that you really do need to try and take a lot of space, a lot of control. So on towards that, they're going to be with the stock standard set of rifles. Everyone's got everything that they need across the map except for Hazza, missing 1 bit of utility. And as I mentioned previously, I do just want to reiterate, right? This is the time for one of these teams to really start to string together a couple of these rounds to get a really strong start to the map. Zeph walking straight into Savage's crosshairs, however, doesn't bode well for DGG's start in this round.
Oh, DGapocdud tempting fate here towards the outside position, and he's found Brat. Oh, DGapocdud, this development arc has just been so beautiful for you, my friend. Stepping above and beyond to be able to put the contest in and against a match like this as Savage does drop down the vents, takes a little bit of chip damage for his troubles. But they've also walked into Secret as well. So this likely will be a bottom site hit for Encore. But they've got plenty of time left on the clock to make a decision. 1:05, Gump boosted at ramp. Your Wombat happy to chill at fake vents. And all 3 members of Encore are down lower. So they're going to utilize that position, get onto site. They should find a plant at the very least. But DGG can recollect because, as I said in that previous map, right, I wasn't going to be overly confident if we saw less than 10 rounds on DGG's previous side. But they did prove me wrong in overtime. However, now, we're going to need a whole lot more rounds to make this convincing against the Giant. And Hugh is certainly doing it with a 3K here. Great lockdown on the B site. 3 alive again for DGG. An eco ahead of Encore. And DGG, like, I think it needs to be like 10 rounds on this CT side. But they're looking at making it look convincing so far as we start off strong.
Yeah, great positioning from Humongous around the rafters of B site there as well to find 3. A great headshot. And the second one, a great little flick, but DGapocdud able to find 2. Give them advantage in outers is really sensational. I want to see if they're going to be able to lock it down convincingly against the pistols right now for Encore, because as you mentioned, 10 CT-sided rounds is nothing, too far-fetched, it feels like, from what we've seen from DGG. Their resilience factor has really shot on up over the course since Inferno.
So much has happened since that previous map, but here's a moment in time where we have actually seen DGG crack under pressure. But this time, Gump, he's pretty happy with his crosshair placement here. Nice little spray control. 3 kills for him, and despite the opening from Azza, it's all left on a Savage in a 1 versus 3. And now I will use this 1 versus 4 rather. I'll use this time to quickly sort of mention. So on paper, you look at Encore, and we've been able to witness this roster for quite some time now. And I've seen a little bit of commentary in the chat about what people are thinking about where this roster could end up. Remember that Grat has been on the roster for like 2 days, maybe 3 at best. Azza has been in the country for less than a week and rejoining the roster. Apparently he was playing on matchmaking with them for a couple of weeks on like 300 ping from Poland. But if you look at the roles and the individuals on this roster, Encore currently, as it stands, has the capacity to outgrow and actually take over Not Greyhound. But the thing about Not Greyhound is they're also in an interesting position themselves because they're growing as well. Kingfisher has been living and learning so much as a coach. And the same could be said for Inns, who is really leaning into that IGL role. Vexite coming in a new position too. So 2 really, really exciting teams. And then seeing DGG apply the pressure that they have today. Rooster with Nedic to come back shortly. Vertex, who knows what their 5 is going to look like. It's just really, really exciting times for the top 5 in Oceanic Counter-Strike.
Not to mention as well, Not Greyhound have to switch out next up on events between Hats and Vexite.
That's right, correct, yeah. Hats will be playing in place of Vexite at the DreamHack Melbourne event, which is ESL Challenger Melbourne next weekend. Hope to see you all there.
Indeed. We've got guns now for Encore. Gratisfaction without utility. Dropped on the floor potentially for a set of outer smokes. Yep. Don't lose them this time, folks. You want to be able to hold on to them.
Seth's lucky to be alive there. He actually does manage to find it. Poor Savage. Very bold position to be in for Zeph, but he does wiggle his way out nicely. Back outside Annex. Gratisfaction gonna send his way in, but DGapocdud is there to deny, and he does it again. Hazard looking to pick up 1 for his troubles, but they're just waiting for him to peek in towards the Annex. And instead, they're just gonna sit outside the vents, Gump on the top of Mustang. Call him Sally as he does get taken. However, Hazard responds, and DGapocdud looking to find his 3rd as Hazard does look to creep on towards that site. He's got so much to overwhelm, but he does find 1, and there is actually a chance of him winning this. It would be for the 1v4-3. No, it'd be 1v4 ace clutch, but Zeph denies. DGG, they've still got... Who has max cash? Like, yeah, that's enough of a statement in itself.
That's one thing that I was going to mention. The economy for DGG with just winning a couple of these rounds in a row and surviving with a bunch of players. This is what I was hoping. This is what I was prodding for a little bit earlier, right? Build up, string up a couple of rounds in a row, and that's exactly what DGG has been able to fashion here. 1 away from securing the half on the CT side, and for Encore losing another gun round, it makes it a little bit more concerning for what they have remaining in the rest of this half. This round is looking like a force, given by what Hazard's just purchased, unless that's going to be Hero Rifle, which it may just be by what Az is going in with. So they'll be, you know, playing with some things coming in towards this next round. But apart from that, like after that, if you're losing 8 and then DGG, if they do manage to find over towards, you know, double digits and stuff, it could be a scary predicament for Encore.
It already is. You know, 7 rounds consecutive for DGG. If they can at least break it, you know, Encore finding 5 is very winnable. But if DGG continues this streak, it's just the emotional game, and they're going to be straight out on the top side here, and there is an opportunity, but great nades, great utility. However, a wrist breaker from Gratisfaction. Your Wombat lives on. 3 alive somehow. 4 points of HP. As are stuck in a very awkward spot as well, and this should be another complete lockout. Gump still up on the railings. Does deny another. He has been playing absolutely fantastically. DGapocdud and himself have been the true stars, with some big impact from Zeph as well on that AWP. Savage, he's recovered a rifle, but again, there is just still so much to do. Zeph's going to get on that line. It's a hut. He has missed a couple of these somehow. Hey, maybe a step off the line, but Savage does drop at least one. Bomb's still a while away. It should be impossible for him to close out this round.
Yeah, the problem is this is just damage for the sake of padding stats for Encore, right? It's not going to play with the economy of DGG here whatsoever. They're going to be gathering their 8th round unless Savage comes out with a miraculous finish right now. Not the case. Your Wombat in with 4 kills in this round is great. And there's the 8 for DGG. Now, Mitch, this is a very important swing round. Because if it goes DGG's way, Encore with max cash are going to be onto another eco to make sure they get another big purchase in the round after that. So this is one of the big important ones for Encore to get activated into this T side. We throw it back towards the tight nature that we saw on Inferno between these two teams. You know, we didn't really see round differences of 5 in that matchup. It was so much closer at every single point in turn that now we were asking ourselves earlier on, is this third map going to be competitive? Is it going to be a whitewash? I myself thought that potentially it would be DGG kind of, you know, flustering out on this map, but they've started off nicely on this CT side, and I'm very, very impressed by them.
An old iteration of this roster, I'll throw you back a few years, Genuine Gaming. And I remember it was an ESL ANZ Champs LAN where they did face up against Order in the opening match, and they were able to take them pretty short. They got their way to the finals. Just really, really strong. And it was because they're such a momentum-based team. That was actually DGGapocdud and Hugh on that one. And when they're hyped, when they're fresh, when they're feeling good, you can just see that the ability is there. DGGapocdud, IGL, entry frag has been just killing it. Zeph also. And yeah, Gump, you know, the amount of crazy shots that we've seen him hit has just been out of this world. So consistency is key. Not letting the mental shift at all, because I absolutely agreed with you. This result I would have never, ever, ever predicted. And I'm all for it. Like, it's the thing of the argument, you know, what's it going to look like in the final? Is not Greyhound just going to waltz on in and just absolutely smack down either of these opponents? Because they're going to be exhausted. They've already played. Like, this will effectively be 4 maps played before they even start the grand final.
Yeah, and you have to go up against our #1 team. You got to remember that as well. So it's going to be a mountain to climb for them. Savage, he is seemingly doing it without the right equipment right now. Straight into the crosshairs of Hugh, as is going to be eating the grenade for dinner over in Outers. So just off the get-go, once more, Encore bleeding.
Can't even start to think about it. Again, the strategy is so challenging. Calling T-side Nuke. One of the most difficult maps to rally your troops. Flood them in through the choke points. If you've been in a competitive match of this nature, you'll know. And Zeph with the opener as well onto the ramp hold. Molly, not even thrown. Still going to hold on to that one. Does go off now as Elbow will look to be secured. They do actually manage to force them away, but again, Encore, you know, they're up the creek without a paddle. As they just limp their way back into lobby, maybe for a late topside hit. 35 seconds left, Komodo.
Yeah, well, they need to be making sure they've got that paddle or they've got that surfboard and ride that wave back on through. Hugh's gotten another one without even seeing vision onto the opponents right now. You talk about time being an issue. You talk about numbers not being there. That's everything for Encore right now. That's what's happening. They are locked out of this round. And does it shift to just holding these guns to the next one? You can't go for a vent drop. DGGapocdud's down here again, looking to close out the rounds. And he'll do just that.
4 alive again. Almost max cash on Zeph. Gump not too far behind. Hugh's got heaps to boot. He will have to invest a little bit into the piggy bank here, but, you know, again, there has just been no pressure. Was there 1v1? I think there was. And that's about it. That's the closest we've kind of had it. The wheels have fallen off the Encore bus because I said 10 rounds for DGG. Okay, they might win this one. But still always a chance. Encore find 4, 5. You know, there's a world where they turn the tides. Never say never in a series like this. As Azza, he charges forward, will be traded nicely though. That's the only AK taken, and not exactly in a recoverable position. But Hazza, he tries to recover the round in his own way. Now smoke up towards heaven. Sterling, no!
Oh, he's got
missing a couple of sitters there, but there's Hugh to get a response. Savage gets another. Savage gets another. Here you go. This is the round that Encore desperately needed, and why you can never count them out. Gump, where are you, my friend? Just outside Annex, and I think this should just be done and dusted. He doesn't need to save. He just needs to try and do some further damage, but irrespective, nothing is going to change the result here. Just going to wait and try and catch them on the exit.
That's indeed the one Encore needed. Fourth on the board here. The Gump can pay with a little bit of pain, even though they don't really have weaponry to take over into the next round. He certainly is finding all of the frags. In the last one, he'll even go for a challenge. He'll find all three and survive.
Yeah, nice. At least that's something. Again, you know, the money that comes into the round here for Encore means they've got enough to invest. Oh, look, if they lose this one, it might be a bit scrappy into the 15th, but still, like, they've set themselves up quite nicely. The frags found from Gump were impactful, but irrespective, we're in do or die time. Encore now line themselves up potentially for a 6. They finally found a gun round. That's the first one in this map. T-side Nuke, such a challenge to contest. And DGG, they got broken up a little bit there.
That's Miss Molotov coming on through. The Wombat, lucky enough that by the time that one popped, he didn't actually take any damage. Meanwhile, Gratisfaction does. Cheeky little grenade to his feet. As Encore are going to be trying to establish a bit of control in Outers. We have Zeph with AWP in this round, but he is positioned over towards the ramp room with Gump there. So a bit of a lean for the extremities. Control for DGG here, which can always be a nice little strong thing. But I do wonder if they are going to put a lot of pressure for APOCdud here. He has to at least try and find one, which is going to be the case. But now this Outers control is in Encore's possession. They don't have to continue down to B if they don't want to. They can play with the time. A minute to go.
Completely parking. Zeph with the ramp push. Love to see a little bit of confidence come out from the man. You've got to take those risks. Reap the rewards later. Q's also into lobby, so these members down towards bottom site. What's the positioning looking like of the CTs? The door has been opened now. Information gathered. Wombat is just going to walk away. They've heard Grat. Zeph wants to go for this peak, but he'll actually be sent off the line. So now Sterling can reposition himself accordingly. Going to be looking over towards your Wombat, but I think he'll walk straight into the crosshair. Goes low. And oh, that is a very uncharacteristic miss, but he will at least respond, getting one back. 3 versus 2, Komodo. Can they make this back in?
Well, Haz is going to be getting up to the Megaton door right now. Zeph progression. Smoke is going to reveal his location, but he's expecting him to be close right now. He's clearing it out with the util, but Sterling making sure he's got his boy covered. The dynamic duo in Sterling and Hazza. Can they lock this one down? They only need to find one more onto Gump. Positions being cleared. Molotov deep. That'll actually lock Gump out from being able to progress in toward the site. No, he's actually gotten forward, but it doesn't matter because Sterling has spotted him. And Encore at least secure 5, which, you know, in essence is an okay T-sided scoreline, but they are definitely chasing the 6th.
Literally name a more iconic duo. Sterling and Hazza inside the Oceanic region. They've been together, attached at the hip. And their little combination, you know, they know each other so well. They've spent together so much time. So they understand each other's quirks. And securing a 2v4, and a very, very important one, because the money that DGG have actually had invested for so long has been completely expended into this final round of the half. So the 5 that you talk about that has secured, 6 actually starts to make this even look like potentially going to favor of Encore, right?
Yeah. Bit of a slow start, though, for them to, you know, get back in towards this one for sure. But Nuke is just such a different beast compared to Inferno. Now, as we do transition into the last round of this half, it is a different look for Encore right now. Still, the started utility out in towards Outers, but a bit of a marshmallow peak from that silo. And for DGG, APOCdud is all the way in the back of the garage. He needs to make sure that his engine is flowing. Make sure that it is chugging up nicely. Because he definitely can find an opening pick of the gap, but Az has read him.
Very, very important pick there, APOCdud, a key member of this dominant start for DGG on Nuke. Wombat, oh, I don't even think he spotted the timing. Zeph does get the trade, but it's already before they do start to march their way down ramp. Zeph not being home means that the site is free, the site is taken. They know exactly what they can deal with, and now with that Molotov going down, Hugh punished by Savage. The man loves an entry. And Sterling also spotting out another member in Zeph over towards that elbow, sees the gun barrel. Zeph just trying to bait the shot. And he does it in his own way. Sterling now does have to reposition. Another flash to come out, the underarm game. And Sterling's just going to quickscope him. Very well done. Your Wombat 1v4, and I think Komodo, we are going to be dealing with a 9-6 scoreline. I think Encore have the advantage here now, my friend.
Well, if you are an observer going in towards this game and you see 6-9, DGG, they are in the lead, yes. You can come with that. But from what we've seen from Encore, I agree with you, Conky. I think going into the more dominating side of history right now, CT side, if they pick up a pistol, you know, it'll be not doors closed for DGG, but it'll be a lot difficult to get started, right? Because you think pistol, you think second round, if DGG gets the plant, yeah, they can force up. But if they drop that, we're looking at about a tied scoreline. So a lot does ride on this pistol round right now for both of these sides. If we do just wait for a couple more players to ready up, we'll be able to get back into it. But yeah, I mean, this is where things do switch up. What do we see on Inferno? Both teams doing good on CT and T. You can't really take away too much on towards Nuke right now because we saw a slow start from Encore, right? We saw a little bit here and there, but then it was DGG really finding the CT side of rounds, building up their economy. They had cash for days to be able to play with in case they made mistakes, and they did make a couple of mistakes, but it was really Encore, you know, finding their footing to get back into it. On the back of Savage winning that round with the Tech 9, just taking pot shots.
Many things to consider. All of a sudden, this pistol round, well, it was going to be important regardless, even more so now. DGG find it. At least they kind of give themselves 2 to 3 rounds of a buffer. Encore find it. Oh my god, it gets close. That's when we start to see that scoreline tie up. And there's a HE, there's Julies, there's a Kit, there's a Smoke. Whereas DGG, it's just going to be an all-out brawl, and they're going straight to top side. Komodo, have fun with it.
Well, we will see. We know the boys in the server are going to, as Sterling manages to find a double in from the heavens. And now it's player advantage for Encore. You hear the ladder right there. You don't know if that's Sterling going down or if it's somebody else coming up. We know that for sure. And it's Hazard now, the one who shimmied up that vent, up that ladder rather, to get the frag toward Zeph. Q falls. And the pistol goes to Encore. Now, Mitch, I pose you this question.
Yes?
Oh, damn. I was thinking that you would know the question.
I'm lost.
It's fine. Lost in the sauce. We've got no plant down for DGG,
I'm
so it's an
literally
eco.
Lost in the sauce.
That's okay. It's okay. We're all hungry here. We're waiting for food.
Oh, if we're even going to have time, man. The
Yeah,
game's
that's
going to
true.
start up. Not
That's
Greyhound.
true.
They've had a chance to go to the gym.
Zephyr's dropped the bomb down the vent, and the rest of his team isn't even here.
It's okay. It's just an eco. Take it on the knee. They're not going to force in. That means they will at least secure a full buy round into the next. 47.50. Plenty of utility can come on out. But we are 1 round away from a tied scoreline. DGG, they were looking excellent. They were looking well drilled. But this is where Encore can thrive. You don't need a world of synergy or a world of time to make a good CT side work. If the calls are clean, the positioning is solid, and the crosshairs are going to the heads, it can be done. It can be worked with.
Yeah, the big real chance for DGG to show us what their T side is made of here with all of their rifles. Your Wombat getting softened up by the HE grenade does put some more potency on towards these MP9s, because Encore do have 3 of them at the moment. So it almost does shift into a bit more of a passiveness play from DGG, which they'll be happy enough to let Encore waltz in towards their crosshairs, as they are exercising a lot of their own utility as well right now. 2 smokes that they're still going to be able to throw. You would definitely want them for a proper site take.
So still yet really much impact to be found. Outside now being wrapped into Azza inside the smoke. It's going to be Gratisfaction. The MP9's going brat, but Hugh does at least afford himself a trade, and so does APOCdud. Azza, oh my god, Azza, he is dancing with the devil here, but doesn't choose to go in. APOCdud has to mosey his way out with 6 points of HP. Still winnable for DGG. As Gump has been watching the lobby. Now Savage creeping on in, but he doesn't overextend.
This could be big.
Very, very smart.
If he does simmer in the hut, he could be marinating before a big old succulent amount of frags right now. 3 members for DGG all surrounding this lobby with one, as mentioned, Gump above the T ladder there. And Savage, he's just going to walk in and get away with one. Gump gets tagged down to 25 HP as well. This should be very finishable for Azza and Hazza. Remember, Azza has a HE grenade. He's found the first one, ApocDud. Is he going to try and get down the ladder? Nope, the HE grenade has to dodge that one. And Azza knows exactly where he is. 10 seconds, there's no time to get the kill and the plant. 6-5. Oh, that's just going to be it.
Oh, he's going to get
Hazza come from the hut. In the 1 versus 1.
Oh, timing. Oh, he's done it. The mastermind in ApocDud. He's got absolutely no time, but that is when the man will shine. 19 and 12, the captain of DGG makes it work.
Chef's kiss for the chef in ApocDud.
So for everyone who's watching along at home and can't see under the HUD, he has a photo of Uncle Iroh as his profile picture. So that's why he's won that round, okay? Just straight up.
Hey, if you ever think about it, Uncle Iroh technically is a master of all 4 elements as well.
He is correct.
And you can even stretch it to 5 because he knows like lightning as well. So.
And man just wants his tea, all right? Relax.
Mate, hot leaves? Hot, wet leaves?
Yeah, nice. Dude, humans are a simple folk.
Yeah.
Yes, let me have my hot tea leaf water. Which makes me feel very calm and zen.
Don't worry,
what was I watching before? Japanese man living in the back of his small truck,
true, yeah.
Cooking dinner to the rain. That's what's happening as I get older. I just want more simple things in my life.
I just want some simple Counter-Strike right now. We're not having simple Counter-Strike. We're having big brain,
very complex
sporadic plays. Flames dropped in flames. Now deployed as DGG. They are not met with equalization just yet.
They're looking to hit topside. Making it happen now. Running straight on out. It is going to be a brawl, a duel. Great opening there from Azza. Savage also pipping away. I think DGG have given up the goat in this one. The flashbangs were good, but that smoke not quite crossing off Annex means that there was just no opportunity. So very, very well found there from Encore. This should be 9.
Should be. ApocDud and Zeph with a little bit of utility and no real positioning around the map. Now tagged up to half HP, staying through the wall of the hut. That was very close to Az's head. Needs to protect that noggin. 2K being blown off today, but he is going to be finding it. And that's 5 alive for Encore. That's establishing economy. That's upgraded weaponry. And that is DGG into an eco round, actually.
Yeah, it's not the best position. Just going to be another rush. Probably not even worth investing much into it at all. These rounds are always challenging. A D-Eagle, a P250, maybe just a frag. And there's the opening. Krat will get it done with the HE.
Yep, caught ApocDud straight in the Pokeball. Looking for some more damage around the map right now. As DGG, this is one of those ones that you just use as a kind of free gimme timeout, isn't it? How are you going to strengthen yourselves back in towards your next gun rounds, because you'll be seeing the side scoreline now. And 500 HP across the board, surviving for Encore as well. So more money their way.
Summary of the CT side, hey? Like how, getting 6 rounds is just basically enough for a real T-sided strength. Looking to push their way forward. They've already stabilized very, very nicely, and now with another buy-in for DGG. If Encore pick up this one, that really should start to drag their way out to 12. Playing that T side, very, very challenging with little to no strategy. But DGG should have enough in the coffer that they have a couple of different options about where they're going to be going.
Damage from the spam. Azza, if he had a HE grenade, might be able to finish it off as well. As it is going to be the secret creep, the secret walk for DGG. It's been a little bit since we've seen a play like this one be utilized in this map right now. But it does put a lot more pressure onto the bottom site single player hold that they currently have deployed there. Sterling by his lonesome self. Definitely want to see Hazard drop off from the ramp room rather, and go and help him potentially. Use that position a little later. As Gratisfaction spots out. Yeah, I think he might have with the placement of that HE.
Nade goes over the top, and they do spot each other out, but it's just a cheeky little hello. They start to move on. Ooh. Great pick there. Gratisfaction getting the job done. Now DGGapocdud with another response. This is where they try to go down to lower sight. Hazard though with a great peek. DGGapocdud looking to find another. That's a second, and he's heard the footsteps, but there's many. He's peeking. Oh, the confidence from DGGapocdud. Gets 3 in the round, now making it a 2 versus 2, and the man in Hugh, he's ready to strike back and pounce. Zeph to close, GGG to lead again. 11-10, but the money is still strong for Encore.
Yeah, and it's resettable for DGG as well. They still do have to be protective. Zeph, he'll be dropping over an AK-47 to one of his teammates. Your Wombat, DGGapocdud, Gump, they all will be requesting something here. Otherwise, they're down to a Galil, but juggling out the money. Humongous, yeah, he can fend for himself here, so everyone should be all good. They get a bit of utility out across the board as well, so everything is all right in Camp DGG right now. For the flip side though, for Encore, they got the AWP, they got a couple of kits out, a bit of utility, maybe want a little bit more to protect these sites against DGG, who once more send your Wombat in for Outers to see what he can do by his lones himself. The rest of the team out on the lobby. The Wombat actually loses that first duel, which is a little bit unfortunate. Now the shift can be pivoted for Encore back over towards ramp because Hazard's getting pressured.
Yeah, definitely. They're going to be all working their way down. Azza actually looking to smoke off the door before joining Hazard. Now it's going to be all this pressure again. They need to try and overwhelm Hazard. The first pick will go his way. And it's 2.5 as well, because look at Hazard peeking out at the right time. And he's got 3. Just the shooting range for the man right now, as they will be able to respond immediately. 11-11. And oh my god, DGG, the poor buggers. They just had no cash at all. They've been broken 3 times in this half already.
It's one of the biggest things that was plaguing Encore yesterday, though, right? On this very map on the CT side, they kept not getting economy going their way.
Should be just a nice and easy round for Encore. Business as usual. Looking to take the lead back. Something that they have earned very, very well. Not really much to talk about. Just DGG cruising around the map, seeing if they can find a pick. DGGapocdud with that dig inside the lobby. Hazard's already taken control, and that should be the last frag going the way of Hazard. So there we go. Nice and easy for Encore. 5 alive. Great picks. Great cash position. And now there will be another pause. Should be very well one of the finales of this map in Nuke. Again, we've got 12 minutes till the predicted time to start for the next map, where Not Greyhound will be relaxing. I'm sure they'll probably be understanding to give the winner of this map a little bit of extra time to reset, recoup, because as we know, there's already been, what, effectively a 4.5 hour series. Yeah. And it was a 16-1, then 31-29, and now we have a very, very close match right here. Gump and Hugh, the last 2 to reinvest. And yeah, as it stands, look, you know, if DGG lose this one, it is definitely going to be a very, very scary prospect for the finale of these last few rounds. But at the exact same time, DGG have got to be so happy with how they've played, and I think they'll be absolutely gutted if they're unsuccessful here. But yeah, they've certainly put in the good fight.
No, for sure. This is a very important round, because if DGG do drop this one again, you know, they're just going to be plagued by more money, and then Encore start to just blossom away on this CT side, whose own economy resettable after a couple, but not immediately. Outers once more for your Wombat. Rest of the squad spread around the map, trying to prod and peek over a couple of different positions around the map. It's 2 for 1, still favoring Encore for the current time.
Hazard and Azza still being a bit of a tongue twister. Getting the opening 2 picks here for Encore. Hazard obviously going down in the trade, but Hugh had to fight hard to get back into that position. So DGG needing to play from behind here. Certainly not the most ideal position to be in this late into the match. 24th round. So much still happening. Gratisfaction on a fantastic line, but your Wombat not looking overly keen. Gratisfaction happy with that position now. Savage inside the hut. So there's so many positions that they need to try and wrap around here. Bomb looking like it wants to go down the ramp. 40 seconds though. So they've got to start to make a bit of a move.
Just a bit. Gratisfaction is silent, but sure. Over in the observation room in the lowers, and Azza spotted out a bit of information, but he doesn't know if Gum's trajectory is to try and drop down the vent. He's done well to find at least one frag there, but this bomb is stuck in towards the upper site right now. Humongous has to shimmy up that ladder, and he has to get quickly here because Sterling, this AWP turns into a shotgun from this current location. That's a no-scope down the ladder. That's round done and dusted.
Oh, such a rough position to be in, and that could very well be the close on the series, close on the map. Jeez. There you go, and there's a stat that's also just come into the chat as well. And I think, did Azza get a kill in that last round? He did, so that means that we'll see 100 frags for Azza in the series.
And just remember, Gump got half that in the last map alone.
Yeah. We'll have to have a bit of a cheeky review of the stats, obviously, after the break before we do go into the grand final.
Yes.
You know, potentially another 3 maps ahead of us, irrespective, right? So this is that additional eco that we spoke about for DGG. It has been a very, very lackluster last few rounds, unfortunately, for this side. You know, we saw the big clutch to come out from DGapocdud before. But now it's just been a weakened kind of approach. You know, Encore aren't opening up any gaps at all.
Pistols around to see what they can spot. Gratisfaction tagged down 40 HP. Don't know if he wants to be going in for another duel at the moment. You'd hate to be giving a gun over to DGG and see what Humongous maybe can do with it, or your Wombat. They do both have a bit of Kevlar behind themselves right now, and Gratisfaction is isolated and dead. First pick goes way of DGG. Like the trades do. Starts come from Encore.
Hang on. These rounds are the ones that are certainly the most scary. No Kevlar, though, on 2 of the members. Looking to potentially swap that one through. Great little peek from Hugh there, but unfortunately the shots don't quite connect. Now Hazza, he's been spotted, he's been damaged. Savage on the fake vent side, so they will have to overwhelm a bunch of positions. As look at Sterling, so proactive. Walking his way into the lobby now. Savage does find, does connect. Your Wombat, he gets 2. Now where does Sterling go from here? This would be so important, but he fakes. No, it's just going to be Sterling walking straight onto it. Very well played. Huge positional control from Sterling. And, you know, there was a potential world where DGG might have closed that one, but Encore, they find 14, and they only need 2 more to close out the entirety of this series, which has, run long, I would say.
And you got to remember as well, with all the money that Encore has in their arsenal, they don't, like, really care. So they got it down to a 1 versus 1 in the end there because they got the round victory. They only need 1 more to secure a map point here, and they got 4 of those to then be able to play with if it happens in this round. Also, add to the fact there that DGG won't have any money, and it probably does look like DGG are out of this competition.
It's been a valiant run so far. DGapocdud going down, the star of this series. Very much looking forward to, again, reviewing those stats.
Yeah. How do you get back into this round, though? Player down. A little bit of utility to try and peek on through. CTs surrounding the map as well into all your entries. You have to cut a lot of corners again here if you are DGG. A little bit of a different look from Encore as they are more lent over toward the ramp side of things here. Really leaning on towards this side of the map. Looking Guardian. Sterling over for Outers. No wall of smokes, but Zeph able to find at least that pick.
Nice little equalizer. And it's not over, of course, until the rounds are secured. So if DGG continue to make this work, back into this 4-on-4, a key member down in Sterling, who's had a couple of clutch moments in these last few rounds.
Timing.
Into the vents. Yeah, Gratisfaction. Oh, he could have so much here. They've walked down and he's left it completely silent. Bomb dropped. Now 29 seconds and Gratisfaction can just boogie out. His position was fantastic.
Hazza just elevated himself on the rafters of B as well.
Oh, he's dropped another. Brat, what a huge round. It's such an awesome time to come alive. 10 seconds, no time. They have to go on to B, and that's basically all she wrote. No, I don't even think they've got it. I don't think they've got enough time at all.
Have a gun.
Yeah.
Now they have to save this weaponry to the next round. Otherwise, they've got absolutely nothing to be able to fight with. Satisfaction's fine. Try to at least attempt to remove one of them. Zeph to take the AWP, and your Wombat to take the AK. They don't even have money, of course, to drop over to the rest of the boys because saving on that T side nets you a donut.
That is map, match, and series point here for Encore now. The energy has certainly started to simmer a little bit. You know, it's very much been Encore leading the charge. We've seen DGG collect 2 rounds this half. It's just not enough. You know, the T side is so challenging, and, you know, playing up against a team with so much experience is just a very challenging thing, and that's exactly what we're witnessing right now. Sterling with the opener, Azza with the second. Now Hugh's going to walk straight into the crosshair of Azza. And I think DGapocdud, whilst he will find one, it's still so challenging. Azza closes it, and DGapocdud, mate, you've been great. But I think, unfortunately, this will be your visionary for the RMR continuation done and dusted. And we get the grand final that we were all hoping for, all expecting. But we had it get there in a way that was unexpected beyond all reason.
Yeah.
As Azza looking to pad his stats even further, to think that he's potentially looking at 30 almost. You know, you won't be able to get it. But just insane performance from, you know, the second newest edition of this roster.
Yeah, and also remember, you know, we have a 16-1 map scoreline of the first one. We're thinking we're going to have an immensely long break between the 2 series as this one now finally comes to a conclusion. We'll come back towards us. Yeah, we were thinking after the 16-1, we would have a very long break between that series just finished now and the next series scheduled to start at 9 p.m. I looked at my clock.
We got 3 minutes.
We got 3 minutes essentially right now. You guys will see it as like 1 minute because of the delay. But yeah, just an extremely strange but kind of comforting series, in all honesty.
That was awesome. You know, super happy, right? Like, I think I've got to give a massive